welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mona Priya and you're watching Updates at Noon. Our headlines this afternoon. Chief Justice heads bench hearing Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak's bid in SRC case. Centralised report system among education transformation elements plan. Chief Justice Tun Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat and 4 other judges are hearing Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak's application to adduce additional evidence in his SRC International Sdn Bhd case to nullify the trial that saw him sentenced to 12 years jail and a fine of 210 million ringgit. Justice Tun Tengku Maimun is heading a 5-member federal court bench during the proceedings which began at 9:48 a.m. today. Today, the court is scheduled to hear first Datuk Sri Najib's application to adduce new evidence in the SRC case in his bid to ultimately seek a retrial. The additional evidence Datuk Sri Najib is seeking to adduce relates to the recent discovery that the trial judge Datuk Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali in 2006 was the General Counsel and Company Secretary for Maybank Group, who had the ultimate overall responsibility for the management and administration of all legal departments within the entire group. If the former Prime Minister fails in this application, the federal court is expected to proceed with the hearing of Datuk Sri Najib's appeal against his conviction and sentence imposed on him by the then High Court Judge Datuk Muhammad Nazlan on 28 July 2020. Datuk Sri Najib's legal team is led by lawyer Hisham Teh Pohutek, while the prosecution is led by ad hoc prosecutor Datuk V. Sidambaram. The development of a centralised reporting system to record student assessment results is among the education transformation elements to be introduced by the Ministry of Education. Its senior minister, Datuk Dr. Razzie Jidin, said in addition to reducing teachers' workload, the system also aims to improve the efficiency of the MOE system so as to remain relevant in today's digital transformation. Currently, a teacher is required to submit student assessment results to various parties, including the MOE and district education officers.
Kerana apa yang paling penting adalah supaya mesej yang kita ingin sampaikan itu betul-betul sampai dan difahami oleh semua pihak. Sebenarnya apa yang kita nak laksanakan ini bila kita jelaskan kepada ibu bapa dengan lebih mendalam dalam banyak sesi lebat urus, masing-masing memberikan satu pandangan yang cukup positif bahawa we are on the right track dengan pendekatan yang kita laksanakan ini.
He said the ministry is committed to creating the best education ecosystem in addition to prioritising the overall development of students. Under the education transformation agenda, the government is taking various initiatives including abolishing the Primary School Achievement Test UPSR and the Form 3 assessment PT3. A man who was also a person accused in court was confirmed dead while undergoing treatment at a health clinic in Bacho at 11 a.m. yesterday. However, acting Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Zaki Harun said the cause of death of the 32-year-old is still under investigation.
Saya akan tunggu laporan sepenuhnya dan kita tengok juga apa sebab kematian biar doktor sahkan dulu. Apapun tindakan siasatan kita telah buat sebaik saja ni dari segi jenayah. Tetapi dari sudut lain siasatan akan dibuat oleh siasatan khas daripada Bukit Aman, iaitu di bawah Jabatan Integriti dan Pemantauan Standard. Tim daripada Bukit Aman telah turun dan mereka juga masih menunggu keputusan postmortem.
The man was put into lockup after he was arrested for 3 drug-related cases on the 2nd of August. He was supposed to be charged in court yesterday. However, on 12th August, the suspect, who was also positive for methamphetamine, was reported to have got into a fight with another person in the lockup. This led him to be transferred to another lockup in solitary confinement. The suspect suffered from breathing difficulties and was brought to the clinic for treatment before he was confirmed to have died. Kelantan Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department, NCID, together with the Bukit Aman Zone 1 team, seized various types of drugs worth over 814,000 ringgit and arrested 301 addicts and dealers through Ops Tapis Bersepadu, which was carried out for 3 days starting 11th August. Acting Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Zaki Harun said the biggest seizure during the operation involved the arrest of 2 local male suspects aged 53 and 34 in a house near Jalan JKR at about 6 p.m. on Saturday. He said both suspects are remanded for 7 days from 13th to 19th August for further investigations under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952.
Serbuan telah dibuat di sebuah rumah di Jalan JKR Pasir Mas. Dan kita telah jaya menangkap 2 lelaki Melayu, seorang berusia 53 tahun dan seorang berusia 34 tahun. Kedua-duanya adalah positif methamphetamine dan mempunyai rekod lampau.
Briefing reporters at the Kelantan Contingent Police Headquarters, he said, after interrogating the 2 suspects, police then conducted a follow-up raid at 7 p.m. on the same day at a house in Kampung Demit, Kubang Krian. Maha 2022 surpasses visitors and sales target. The success of the Malaysia Agriculture, Horticulture and Agrotourism, or MAHA Exhibition 2022, shows that the country is on the right track towards reinforcing the national food security. Agriculture and Food Industries Minister Datuk Sri Ronald Kiandi said this year's exhibition saw 33 Memoranda of Understanding signed involving 5.64 billion ringgit. It was also the biggest in terms of visitors and sales, with 1.2 million physical visitors and 260 million ringgit in sales.
Dari segi pencapaian, tentu sekali kita serasa bangga kita mencapai sasaran yang telah kita letakkan. Lebih tinggi dari segi jualan, lebih tinggi dari segi kehadiran pengunjung berbanding dengan penganjuran MAHA pada 2018 yang lalu. Ini menunjukkan bahawa MAHA merupakan ekspor pertanian yang dinanti-nanti oleh rakyat Malaysia. Kita ingin melihat keterlibatan lebih ramai pihak daripada luar negara, pemain industri luar negara, supaya ini akan menjadi contoh dan teladan dan juga dorongan kepada pemain-pemain industri tempatan.
As a mega agriculture exhibition at the national level, the organisation of MAHA this year was a renewal. As such, MAHA 2024 would be organised similarly while expanding in terms of participation of more exhibitors and strategic partners from abroad. On another note, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries, MAFI, will keep the Malaysian Agro Exposition Park open year-round as a permanent site for agro-tourism exhibitions. Datuk Sri Ronald said that for a start, they will make the Paddy Field Pavilion as the adopted project of the Rice Industry Development Department, together with Padi Beras Nasional Berhad, Bernas.
Kita juga ingin melihat MIPS ini tidak akan lesu dan berdiam selepas MAHA 2022, tetapi dijadikan sebagai tapak kekal untuk mempromosikan sektor agro-pelancongan negara kita. Kita ada rumah kekal, pavilion negeri yang tentu sekali boleh dijadikan oleh kerajaan negeri untuk mempromosikan produk capaian yang ada daripada negeri-negeri ke MIPS ini dan dijadikan sebagai tarikan pelancong dalam sektor agro pelancongan.
The completion of Phase 1 of the Integrated River Basin Development Project in Sungai Golok, Kelantan is expected to be earlier than the initial schedule of April 2023, involving a cost of 656 million ringgit. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Economy, Datuk Sri Mustafa Mohamad, said the development status of the project has reached 80%, proceeding smoothly and rapidly.
Fase 1 sedang berjalan, 656 juta ringgit peruntukannya sedang berjalan, dan kalau ikutnya lebih cepat daripada yang dijadualkan. Fase 2 sudah meluluskan peruntukan kewangan menyebabkan kos 879 juta ringgit. Ini menunggu lantikan kontraktor. Ini mungkin akan masa sedikit. Fase 3 telah dibincangkan, disetujui secara prinsip, tetapi belum ada detailnya lagi lah. Ya.
During the recent visit by the Environment and Water Ministry, it was understood that the first phase of the project was 81.26% complete. The completed project covers Pengkalan Kubo to the Lancang River in Pasir Mas. The PLSB project will be implemented through 3 phases and is expected to overcome flood issues. The Malaysia Armed Forces Camp Construction Project in Taman Sri Skudai, Johor, had to be ordered temporarily frozen. Deputy Defence Minister Datuk Sri Iqmal Hisham Abdul Aziz at the Dewan Negara today said it is to respect the decision by the Kuala Lumpur High Court on 21st December 2018.
Perjanjian perswastaan 3 pihak bagi reka bentuk dan pembinaan kamp tentera di Skudai telah ditandatangani antara Kementerian Pertahanan pada 10 Julai 1997 dengan syarikat Kausar Konsortium Sdn Bhd bagi projek pembangunan kamp 7 Brigade di Skudai Johor bagi tempoh 3 tahun bermula 10 Julai 1997 hingga 10 Jun 2001 dengan nilai projek berjumlah 256 juta. Projek ini bagaimanapun terpaksa dihentikan pada Disember 2002 kerana syarikat KCSB tadi menghadapi masalah kewangan dan syarikat hanya mampu menyiapkan 18.3% sahaja daripada keseluruhan skop projek.
The decision called on Kausar Consortium Sdn Bhd, which is the contractor responsible to pay a fine of 269.5 million ringgit to the government. The fine was imposed due to failure on their part to complete the project within the stipulated time period. At the moment, the claim is under the Attorney General's chambers for implementation. Up in sports, RTM continues to be official broadcaster of World Cup. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob announced a reward of 20,000 ringgit to athletes who successfully break any national record at the 2022 Institutions of Higher Learning Games SUKIPT, which began yesterday till 21st August. He also expressed his hope that SUKIPT will produce more high-performance athletes with winning mindsets at major international level championships, and that the Keluarga Malaysia spirit continues its momentum to not only in sports but also in institutions of higher education that are synonymous with the growth of a united society. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri pointed out that sports had its own distinctive aura, not only among competitors but also spectators, citing the example of national badminton coach Hendrawan, who gave his shoes to Jamaican shuttler Samuel Ricketts so that he could continue playing.
Lihat saja ketika ada perlawanan bola sepak atau badminton, lebih-lebih lagi yang di peringkat dunia, kita duduk semeja bersama rakan-rakan tanpa mengira kaum dan agama di restoran untuk bersorak menyokong pasukan negara. Hakikatnya, sukan berupaya memberikan auranya yang tersendiri bukan sahaja dalam kalangan yang bertanding tetapi juga kepada yang menonton.
He said this when officiating the games at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI Stadium last night. Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Saarani Muhammad, Higher Education Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Noraini Ahmad and Deputy Education Minister Datuk Dr. Ma Hang Soon were also present at the officiation of the 5th edition of SUKIPT, in which 66 universities throughout Malaysia will compete in 21 sports. Keluarga Malaysia will have the opportunity to watch Qatar 2022 World Cup matches for free as Radio Television Malaysia (RTM) under the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia will be an official broadcaster for the world's biggest sporting event. Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said a total of 41 matches will be broadcast by RTM, 27 live matches including the final and 14 delayed broadcasts involving 130 hours of airtime overall. He said that RTM will broadcast matches involving high-ranking countries that have many fans in Malaysia. He said RTM would bear a cost of 32.5 million ringgit to enable Keluarga Malaysia to follow the world-class action for free this time.
Piala Dunia ini adalah ikutan semua orang dan tidak semua orang mampu. Yang di luar bandar, yang daripada golongan berpendapatan rendah, kalau setiap kali mereka nak bayar di pay TV, tentulah belanjanya mahal. Jadi menyedari hakikat itu, kita telah buat rayuan semula dan kita telah juga maklumkan pada Jemaah Menteri yang telah memberikan sokongan supaya RTM membayar 32.5 juta itu untuk mendapatkan 41 perlawanan.
He said this to reporters after launching the Menjelang Sepak Mula Piala Dunia 2022 Qatar program in conjunction with the appointment of RTM as an official broadcaster of the Qatar World Cup in the nation's capital today. The Qatar World Cup will be held from 20th November to 18th December. Tan Sri Anwar hoped that private companies and government-linked companies, GLCs, can also share in covering the cost of broadcasting the World Cup together with RTM. The matches will be broadcast through 3 channels, namely TV2, TV OK, Sukan RTM, as well as live streaming via RTM Click. The Qatar World Cup with the slogan "Now is All" will take place in 8 official stadiums in Qatar involving 32 countries. The national men's indoor hockey squad's 8-year wait to enter the final of the Asia Cup ends in the 2022 Men's Indoor Hockey Asia Cup in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, even though it was only a 1-1 draw against Kazakhstan, it was enough to ensure Malaysia clinched the slot to meet the top team in the league, Iran, who are ranked 3rd in the world, in the final to be held later today. In the last round of the league match at Huamark Indoor Stadium, the national team came down with a mission not to lose and scored through Muhammad Aslam Muhammad Hanafia in the 22nd minute. But Kazakhstan equalized through Davlet Urmanov in the 30th minute. National men's indoor hockey squad head coach Muhammad Amin Rahim is confident of his boys' ability to display a fierce and energetic performance in their quest to win the trophy at the final. He said the indoor hockey squad will focus fully on being able to tie up some loose ends for a more clinical game against Iran. In the meantime, Muhammad Amin said his side will study the mistakes made by his players after being defeated by Iran 0-3 in the 4th match on Friday. In the 2014 edition in Changhua, Taiwan, the national men's squad lost 1-5 to Iran in the final. And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story today, Chief Justice heads bench hearing Datuk Sri Najib's bid in SRC case. News at 10 comes on this evening on My Freeview's Berita RTM news channel. I'm Mohana Priya. Thank you for your company.